On the 31st of December 2016, Drakeo drops the Flex freestyle. This is a remix of RJ's song Flex, a retaliation to RJ remixing Drakeo's song on Warning, and it features a lyric where Drakeo says that he has RJ tied up in the back of his car. This was a pretty inane lyric aiming to poke fun at a rival, but sadly it would come back to haunt Drakeo massively. Because while Drakeo was recording music and videos, trying to push his rap career forward, local police were watching his videos and reading his lyrics, intensely looking for clues to connect the Stink team to the December 10th murder of Red Bull, and soon they would have the connection that they needed. Because at this point all the cops had were bullets and shell casings from 38 and 40 caliber pistols, as well as surveillance footage and witnesses placing a Mercedes SUV at the scene. However, at some point detectives working the case hear Drakeo's name mentioned on an unrelated wiretap, plus the victim's family telling cops that they heard rumors that Drakeo was somehow involved in the murder. This was apparently all that was needed to tie Drakeo to the crime, and at this point the cops decided to close in. Only a couple of days after the Flex freestyle, one day after Drakeo's son was born, and one day after New Year's on the 2nd of January 2017, the members of the Stink team are all hanging out at the LA Condo where Drakeo had filmed his earlier Impatient freestyle and the Bully Breaker music video. According to later court documents, Drakeo's distinctive Mercedes being parked outside alerted the cops that he was indeed in the property. Drakeo's apartment was then raided by the SWAT team, who found Drakeo's family and the Stink team in the house in the presence of a number of firearms. The cops would arrest Drakeo and his homies, including his brother Ralphie the Plug, with Drakeo receiving 6 counts of unlawful possession of a firearm by a felon, with Drakeo later telling DJ Vlad that he racked up a total of 9 counts that day.
Every single one.
How many guns?
Only one. 9.
So all 9 guns they said were yours?
Yeah, every single one.
And apparently even Drakeo's mother and sister were there, getting arrested alongside a whole bunch of the Stink team members.
My mom, my sister, Too Shitty, his baby mama, and Bambino, Solo, my brother. It was a lot of people. It was a lot of people.
Nothing connecting Drakeo or the Stink team to the murder of Red Bull was found that day, and apparently the guns that were found in the property were not the ones used in the murder of Red Bull. But regardless, Drakeo would still be headed to jail, with rap blogs beginning to position him as LA's Gucci Mane. Fortunately, Drakeo was able to continue to release music and music videos from behind bars, with pre-recorded tracks like Cocoon releasing publicly over this period. In a February 2017 interview with LA Weekly from jail, Drakeo said he was optimistic about his release, and vowing to hit the studio as soon as he got home. But perhaps he shouldn't have been so optimistic, because while Drakeo was remaining solid in his cell, the same couldn't be said about some of his Stink team brethren. After being arrested, Stink team member Too Shitty is placed into a cell with an undercover informant, who is planted there wearing a wire specifically to gather information about Red Bull's murder. Now, this is part of a controversial strategy, where the local detectives take advantage of a loophole where they're allowed to send in jailhouse informants undercover as long as it's done before suspects are formally charged. It's a slippery tactic, but it sure does work, as it was later revealed in court that Too Shitty had spilled the beans to this informant completely, admitting directly to the undercover that the shooter was that 17-year-old Crip called AB, or Arlington Blue, real name Jaden Boyd, the Rolling 40s Crip who had accompanied the Stink team to that party. After Too Shitty's confession, AB is then arrested himself and placed into a cell with another undercover informant, posing as an OG Crip. And once again, AB confesses the crime and many specific details to this undercover snitch, with a 1-hour, 22-minute recording of their conversation even being played to the court. During this conversation, AB admitted outright that he shot Red Bull with the .38 pistol, as well as saying that it was Kells shooting with the .40 Glock. AB even admitted that he had been actively beefing with Red Bull over this period and had planned to shoot him on sight, even going as far as to break down why he used a .38 pistol specifically so that he didn't leave behind shell casings. I mean, he literally admitted to the undercover directly that he got caught on camera smoking somebody. He admitted shooting the man directly 2 times but denied shooting him in the head, quite literally saying definitively that he popped Kerr. Now, during this conversation, AB only incriminated himself and Kells, essentially saying nothing to implicate Drakeo. And as far as Drakeo's concerned, at this point it really should have been case closed, because the 2 shooters had been identified specifically, and there wasn't a single mention of Drakeo's role in the murder to be found at all. In fact, during this time, the cops even tried to put an undercover informant into Drakeo's cell too, with a 1.5-minute recording captured within Drakeo's cell revealing absolutely nothing. Because there was nothing to speak on. From start to finish, it appeared clearly established that AB and Kells killed Red Bull in a split-second decision, with Drakeo apparently completely unaware of what was going to unfold that night. So, the cops would have no choice but to let Drakeo go. For now. But sadly, they would hold a grudge, and only after a few months of freedom, the cops would return to try and pull off a tricky maneuver, using flimsy evidence and a convoluted case to take Drakeo off the streets once again, this time at the height of his fame.